All right, what's up, everybody? Here we are for a good another round.
Another evening edition.
Yeah, we got our beverages of choice tonight.
Yeah, we're finally. I feel like this is only our second one in a row, I guess, but we're finally kind of back in the groove of.
Yeah.
All right, we try to record on Wednesday night. It's kind of our option A recording time, and then it kind of goes from there if we can't get together. But
I'm glad we came to that one. That one works out good.
yeah. For right now, like with my kids and your kids, their age, they're in bed before now, so we really don't. Other than a little sleep, we don't miss out on much by recording at 9:30 on a Wednesday night.
No, I think I missed out on more sleep at the 4 o'clock recordings.
Yeah, see, so you normally wouldn't go to bed this early anyway.
No. Yeah, no, I don't. Man, bedtime is my struggle. Like, I'm a night owl. I've told it before. Unfortunately, I'm a night owl early riser. Like, I like to get up early, so I'm just like, I don't like to sleep, apparently.
So I enjoy getting up early more than staying up late, I guess, is the easy way to say it. Because if we hadn't been recording this tonight, I would have likely been in bed at 8:30.
Really?
Kids in bed at 8. Anyway, I had them in bed at 8 tonight.
On a normal weeknight, are you in bed that early?
No, not on average. But like tonight, I could have made it happen because I got home from work, decent time.
Yeah.
Got supper ready, got kids fed, and it was 7:30, and they were fed and bathed, and I was like, looking at my watch, like, how much longer before I can put them in bed?
Yeah.
Got them in bed. Yeah, I would have. And then I might have laid there in bed for an hour watching.
Looking at your phone?
Well, I'd have probably watched episode 2 of Yellowstone.
So yeah, I haven't got to watch the first one yet.
So we just watched the first one last night, where I feel like I'm several days behind. But
yeah,
I would have done that, or maybe read a book for a little bit. But
yeah, reading a book puts me to sleep.
So it may have been, but I bet I'd have been asleep. Well, depending on if I watched a full episode or not, probably by 9:15, 9:30.
Man, yeah, you're doing a lot better than me.
Because I like to get up early, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I guess I'm not going to be like you, where I can stay up till midnight and then get up at 5. Like now, if I'm getting up at 5, I'm going to bed by 10.
Well, it catches up with me too. I have noticed that now. Like because I've probably been averaging. I mean, last night I went to bed. It was about midnight. The night before I went to bed about 1:30. And
I have not seen 1:30 a.m. I'd have to think long about when the last time I was awake that time of night.
Well, and see, I got in bed at like 12:30, and I did the typical thing of, I was like, let me just browse my social webs, look at Instagram, whatever. I'll scroll through there. But then it was the night that it rained, like just a little bit. Was that Monday night or Sunday night? I can't remember which night it was, but it was going to rain. It was Monday night because I had cut beans that day. And so I knew it was going to rain. So I really I wasn't going to be in like a big rush the next morning. And I got in bed and 12:30, and I'm pretty tired. Well, I am jolted awake at 1 o'clock because I can't remember if we rolled the tarp or not over the big truck.
Oh, dang.
Like, I mean, seriously, my eyes were like, vroom. Like, I was like, did I tarp the big truck? And so I pulled up my phone. I mean, I'm about to get up and drive over to the field and tarp the truck because I can't remember. But then I pulled my phone out and look, and the rain has already come through. So at that point, I was like, if I didn't, it's been rained on. It's not raining anymore, so there's no point in tarping it now. So I laid there, and my brain, after about 10 minutes, started to calm down, and I went to sleep. Yeah. But no, I average, because I will look on my watch, I average about 6 hours a night of sleep.
Yeah. Well, and like I'll go through stretches where I'm bad about, we're recording one night, and then I'm getting up needing to, whatever, and I'll go several nights where, I'll get,
it catches up with you.
Probably, 5-6 hours on average, but I can't do that very many nights in a row.
Do you start to feel weird feel off? Because I kind of will.
Well, and like I'll come home, well, like tonight where everything was already wound up, as far as kids bathed and fed and everything, and I'll like sit down on the couch and I'll just fall asleep, just sitting right there on the couch.
Yeah.
It'd be 7:45.
Yeah.
But yep, I need
to be going to bed earlier. Yep. Well, that's probably what's been going on with me some, because used to, man, I'd go in, sit on the couch. I could watch a movie. I could watch TV, anything. Sit on the couch until midnight and then go to bed. Now I'll go in there and I will catch myself sometimes starting to doze pretty hard. So, and I'll give a caveat because I am drinking like a pirate on this episode. Like I just thought about that. I was like, I feel like a pirate. For people watching on YouTube, I'm drinking straight out the bottle. I'm not an alcoholic. It looks probably bad, but we came out here. I even put extra ice. I got my water cup here. I put extra ice in it because I was like, I think I got a glass out in the studio. Got out here. There is no glass. And, I mean, you got to have a drink when we record. Bobby Lee's got his, but he's got a glass. And so I didn't have one. My kids are asleep. I'm not making unnecessary noise, so I'm just drinking straight out the bottle.
Drink out the bottle.
And it's a little chilled because it's so cold.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice. Anybody wondering, it's Old Forester 1920 Prohibition. I said, well, Prohibition style, I feel like that's fitting to drink straight out of the bottle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which I drink my bourbon straight anyways.
Yeah.
What are you having?
I've got the Oak and Eden.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But, I do enjoy a little ice, but that's it. I think they say, which I'm not a huge Jack Daniels fan, but being Tennesseans, we'll give them a little shout out there, but I've heard people say that, like, when you if you like go tour the distillery or whatever, they say, please don't mix our whiskey with Coke.
Yeah.
It's like you just ruined two good drinks.
Jack and Coke, yeah. And I feel like a ton of people get a Jack and Coke.
Oh, yeah, it's been excellent for their brand. But, it's like, and look, I'll admit, I've drank.
Are you drinking Jack right now? No, that's the Oak and Eden. Yeah, gotcha.
And I've mixed bourbon with Coke before.
Yeah.
And really, if I had to mix with something, I'd say Sprite. But
that's what I was going to say.
I finally got to the point in my life where, I like it just a little ice, just chilled.
It's just like coffee, man. I like coffee black because I like the taste.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I was like, I like my coffee to taste like coffee.
Yeah. I don't want to be drinking. I don't want to doctor it up so much that all I'm actually tasting is the sugar and creamer.
Yeah.
And that's how I am with my bourbon. Like I just love it straight.
I mean, you can get caffeine other ways.
Yeah.
If you.
Dad is funny. Like he's like he gives me crap for drinking it straight. Drinking bourbon straight. Well, now, he drinks coffee black.
My dad drinks it all straight. Yeah.
See, that's how, like, Dad is a 7-Up man. He gets 7-Up, mixes it with his bourbon, and that's how he always does it.
See, I don't mind that, but like people who mix it with like cola, like
that's a lot of sweet together.
Oh gosh. Well, I don't drink Cokes. Like I'll very rarely drink Sprite. I hit the Taco Bell drive-thru. Speaking of staying up late, about 11 p.m. Saturday night, leaving a softball tournament, and I did, which you don't get a Sprite at Taco Bell. I got my Sierra Mist.
Oh, they don't have Sprite there?
No, I guess that
Pepsi. Is that Pepsi product?
Must be Pepsi, because I always know at Taco Bell you got to order the Sierra Mist.
How was that? I haven't had a Sierra Mist in a long time.
You could have told me it was a Sprite. I wouldn't. Which again, I'm soft drinks or something I gave up about probably 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Not long after I got married, and it was the easiest thing I ever gave up.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even. I was like, I drank Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew my whole life, and I can't tell you the last time I had either one of them.
That's how I was actually. I'm the same with you, man. I was very surprised. I gave them up. It's probably been 6 or 7 years ago for me, and I liked Mountain Dew, and I was the same way. Like I haven't had a Mountain Dew, throughout a year. In 1 year's time, I will have probably 2 to 3 Cokes. Like I'll randomly be somewhere and I'll be like, well, I'll get a Coke and just try it. But
it makes my mouth even feel nasty. I'm just like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, Well, that's like Mountain Dew now. I don't think I could enjoy Mountain Dew because it's so freaking sweet.
Well, now I'm at a point in my life where I realize, how bad sugar is for you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can do away with that. If I'm going to drink something bad for me, I'd assume it'd be alcohol.
Yeah. Which is,
or I guess is coffee supposed to be considered bad?
well, it depends on which article you read.
Yeah,
some are good.
How much you drink.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of caffeine you intake daily is probably not very good.
Yeah.
You take in like 1,500 milligrams.
I don't know how much is in a cup of coffee, but I drank.
I think it's like 300.
Oh, I drank probably, if you're talking about just cups, I bet I drank 10 cups today.
Oh, well, it may, in a cup, 8 ounces, it may be like 120.
Yeah.
But you're drinking, you can overdose on caffeine. I don't remember how much that is, but you might be tipping the scales.
Well, I went, today was one of those days where I went into like our break room. I was going to drink our crappy coffee we make there. Hell, it was out. I was like, damn it.
Man.
So I would have pounded more.
What time?
That was about 11 a.m. or so.
Well, I've gotten a cup that late.
Because I'll drink coffee all the way until I
eat lunch. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But anyway, well, harvest. You mentioned having to roll the tarp back over. How are we still limping to the finish line?
Finally done. I had my celebratory glass of George T. Stagg last night. No, the night before last.
Yeah.
I cut the last of my beans, and so every time I do, I drink some high-end bourbon, and I've got a bottle. We were actually talking about that. Your bottle, when they get down so low, you don't want to drink them all. My George T. Stagg, I've got just a couple glasses left in it, and so I poured me one last night, or the night, whatever. Whenever I cut the last of my beans, had it. So mine was done, and Dad they were over in one spot, and I told him I'd cut this farm for him over on Marshall Road, which I did it a little selfishly because I deer hunt it too. So I was like, well, if I see a good deer out there, be prepared. But so I cut it. I finished it today, and he finished where he was today. So harvest is done.
Circle H and LH are both done.
Yep, well, both are done. So it,
now what are you gonna do for your the next 6 months?
I know, we don't do anything over the winter. That's what I've been told.
Yeah. Just park a combine right there, shut it off in the field.
I'm gonna just leave it in the field. Yeah, I'm not gonna clean them up. I'm not going back on the farm.
There you go. You'll have to do this over Zoom from your vacation home in the Bahamas.
That's right.
For the next 6 months.
Yeah, we'll be at the lake and, maybe the beach. And, I won't be in reality at all. No, I have a tremendous amount of Dozier and Traco work. Did I tell on here that I had bought a Traco?
I think you did.
I can't remember.
I knew you had, just from, seeing you, on YouTube and whatnot, but I think we had that conversation on here. Heck, our listeners can tell us.
Yeah.
Did we already mention that last week? But
if we did, then twice. But I bought a Deere 200D Traco, and I got it. I still got my Volvo, but I needed one I could move.
Right.
And so I got this one to start working, and so, man,
with that Volvo, are you just, when you get that farm cleared, you're just going to sell it?
That's the plan. Yeah.
Just tell them, come get it.
Put it up and be like, if you want it, come load it up and buy it. No, that is the plan, because it's been a good Traco, and it is one. I mean, I'll be honest, I'll kind of miss it. I'm like, because I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, when I sell that thing, I'm gonna be a little bummed because it has so much power. That thing, that was one of the big differences with the Deere and the Volvo. The Deere is way smoother. You can tell it's just in better shape and nicer. And it has heated seats. Like my Volvo doesn't have heated seats. I've never had any piece of farm equipment with heated seats. But it's very nice. But there's this tree I was trying to take down, and it was a tree that had fallen, and it was it was a massive tree. And it's laying over, and the root wad is so huge that it's still kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
And so I was working on it with this Traco, and that Deere weighs about 50,000 pounds. And so I'd be pushing on it. I'm trying to break it over and pushing on it, and it would be like pushing it, because it's still a decently stout track hoe, but I'd be pushing it. It'd be like pushing the track hoe up, and I have not completed that yet. Like, I'm still working on it. And in the back of my mind, I was like, man, the old Volvo would have just bulldozed this thing out of the way, because my Volvo weighs about 85,000 pounds. And I mean, it's just a wrecking ball. Like, I mean, my Deere probably has 150 horsepower. My Volvo has 250 horsepower. So it's like, I mean, there isn't a tree that I've ever not been able to take down with that thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough. And so that'll be the one thing, but I'll get used to it. Most guys are running 50,000 pound tracos. So, and I mean, I guess I'll see. Heck, I mean, I might get done with it and be like, man, I don't want to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
So it'll have paid for itself at that point, just by the amount of acres that it's cleared. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yes, harvest is in the books. Trying to think. Cover crops are coming up pretty good. We did quite a bit of cover crop this year. Getting into that a lot more.
Do y'all have all of it flown on?
All of it, but there was about 40 acres worth or 50 acres worth, I think, that Dad had told him that, I don't know if he had forgot. Somehow it got forgot. And so they came back in and had to spread it with like a spreader truck.
Okay. Yeah.
So, for the most part, it was flown on.
Y'all aren't drilling any in or anything like that?
No, and we get just as good of it's really just as good of a cover and stand as the guys drilling it. And we're not having to, go and spend that time planning it and putting it back over. So, I don't know, man. That's probably the way we'll stay going. But I'm excited. I really, the cover crop stuff I'm really liking that avenue.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think the more people I talk to, the more I feel like that's going to be, hopefully, unless it proves to not work out as well, but become very commonplace, and the benefits of it will be kind of undeniable at some point, depending on exact soil types and other different things.
Yeah.
But I think around here, for the most part, the benefits are pretty well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're universally accepted, but it's going to get to that point.
Some guys around here do a lot of triticale.
Yeah.
And I know you've grown that for your cows.
Yeah.
But there's some guys around here, they do apparently a lot of that.
I don't know, it's like a cover crop line. It's any better than wheat. I think it's a hybrid between wheat and cereal rye. So, I guess they would say that it has some advantages over either or. Yeah. But we planted, I think it was mainly because we were wanting cows to have spring grazing and had, good, winter survival. And then, just produced a lot of leaf, a lot of biomass, a lot of feed. So, good deal. So, yeah, that's, I know y'all got to feel good about that. Have you got everything moved home?
No, we finished. It was this afternoon. We got done and shut everything down.
So y'all spend the rest of the week just getting stuff moved home. And
tomorrow, we'll get everything moved in tomorrow, which, it was funny. Not funny. It's actually irritating. Today, the farm I was on, there's some ground right beside it. We actually used to farm it. Well, the guy that owned it, he moved. And so he sold them, and he broke it up into like 5-acre lots, like you're seeing a lot of now, and sold them to houses. And they built some houses on there, and there's a house right on the property line. And I was cutting up into this neck, and the beans were pretty sorry up in the neck. They always are. And there was 4-wheeler trails all over this thing. And they had made such a path that there was the beans were gone in their path. You couldn't even see, you look down it and you're like, what'd they do with the beans? It had they had obliterated that path so much that it just was gone. And it was amazing to me. So you could turn and look at their path, and it was like an absolute trail straight to the house. And I'm like, how stupid. These people are that stupid.
They probably don't, either they don't realize or they think it's just not a big deal, whatever they're doing.
I guess. I don't know. Because, I mean,
They're
it's
just like, oh, it's not, it's just a little bit,
Yeah.
Like, I would bet that, and, I mean, people just don't know, especially if they moved out here from somewhere in the city.
Yeah.
Which they're buying a 5-acre lot and building a house. They're probably moving here from somewhere else. I was listening to another podcast, and it was actually a farmer, and they opened up like a little Airbnb, like on the side. And said a lot of people come there and visit that are total city folks that have no understanding of anything, and just telling stories about stupid stuff they would do. They had somebody that went and picked an ear of corn, like they'd never seen like corn growing, and put it in the microwave trying to pop it. Like nearly like burnt down the Airbnb, and they said it smelled awful, but they didn't understand that it wasn't popcorn. Like just people that live in a city and work a job in finance or whatever, like they probably never had a garden. Like
we take it for granted.
They never even had the thought like, what's the difference between sweet corn and popcorn? And then they probably never even heard of like there's a field corn. It's just like, but we take all that for complete granted. So those people are probably like, I mean, it may blow their mind that that's even soy. Like they don't even like they have no idea that it's, oh wow, they're going to run a combine through this one day. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them way too much benefit of the doubt.
I don't know.
It's probably teenage kids, which certainly there's an adult there that sees, wow, that my kids are riding through these gentlemen's soybeans.
I had a guy one time that they had bought a place and there was a cornfield right behind it, and he shared a picture with us and was like, can't wait to eat some of this corn. Gonna pull some of this corn and eat some. Like and it was field corn. It wasn't sweet corn. And somebody else, it was in a group, and somebody else in there goes, bro, that's field corn. That's not the corn you eat. And he said, hell, it's all the same. And I commented back and was like, not even remotely the same. I was like, that's not the same. I said, you don't want to eat field corn. And he was like, it tastes just fine. I'm like, all right, go ahead and get you some and try it out. Like, people, it is true. I mean, people don't, we probably don't even understand all of the things that kind of does surprise people.
Right.
I did put out that reel the other day on Instagram of the expenses per acre of corn, and it like really took off because people were so blown away by how expensive it is to grow corn.
Yeah.
And so I think we are, this is a great lead in to what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, do you remember what I would call this? Was it Rock 103 or back, I think it was Rock 103 when they did the dumbass of the day. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they had a bunch of funny segments.
They did. They used to be good.
Yeah, then they kind of went woke. But,
Drake and Zeke really did.
Really weird. It's like the whole damn, who's the late night guy that?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
The Man Show.
Like, dude, used to be on like, they would have called you every word in the book. It's like he's trying to atone for
it is
like not being woke enough in his younger years. But
the
anyway,
juggies on trampolines got him messed up.
Yeah, girls jumping on trampolines is the way they ended every video. Like it was the most.
They called them juggies.
Awesomely sexist, misogynistic show you've ever seen. And then now he's like the king of late night woke TV.
He is.
Like, yeah, he's weird.
Anyway, before we get into that, one cool thing I did see, the guy we talked about, you watched Yellowstone, and I haven't got to catch up yet, but Luke Grimes that plays Casey.
Yeah.
Did you see where he was on Kimmel and he was talking about he likes to hunt?
Yeah, I probably saw the same clip you did.
From Blood Origins?
Yeah, Blood Origins shared it where he didn't back down.
No.
And they're like, he's like, no, I rifle hunt.
Yeah.
He talked about archery too. But, I was like, Kimmel, didn't you like cry like crocodile tears over that damn lion that got shot in
Oh,
Africa.
yeah, by the dentist or whatever.
Yeah. Like that ruined that guy's life because he shot a damn lion legally.
Yeah.
On like whatever. Like it wasn't a great story, but like.
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciated Luke. It made me like him even more. Which Yellowstone guys, because I know Cole Hauser that plays Rip. He's a hunter.
Oh yeah.
And so that's all. That's kind of cool to me. Maybe we're seeing the tides turn a little bit up there. But the dumbass of the day is kind of the segment we got today, and that's a guy. Man, I'm really torn on this guy. He's a UFC fighter. His name's Bryce Mitchell, and he's called Thug Nasty. And
he's from right here he's from Arkansas.
Yeah.
He's not far from us.
My buddy, Brent has like trained with him before.
Yeah.
Because Brent actually, they were rolling, and I think he accidentally elbowed him and like cut his eyebrow before a fight. Like, because he was like, it was a pretty big deal, like that he had. Because you don't want to go into a fight with a wound.
Yeah.
But so.
And this thing he did, which we're about to talk about, you see it all the time, really. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got my pirate swig there before I get in. Well, let me pull this up.
Yeah, so he's basically, and he's from like rural Arkansas, and I, like Logan was probably getting it there. Like I agree with a bunch of stuff he says and does, and he's a guy that, like, especially in this current political climate and all that's going on, I would consider myself on the same, like on common ground with him.
Yeah.
But you see this all the time where people, he basically just makes an attack on agriculture.
How many percent of crops
and he's out in the pasture shoveling manure
in very clean overalls?
Yeah, and he's talking about how he's using that to fertilize his garden, and basically saying big ag that's using, synthetic fertilizers and chemicals is
here you go.
Terrible.
Here it is.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is what I like to do for fun out here. I know most of y'all probably think this ain't fun. That's disgusting. And it's because y'all have a little bit of a weak mentality.
He's shoveling cow
you probably
crap.
think your food comes from Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay, it don't.
Shoveling fresh manure into a wheelbarrow.
This is how it's supposed to be done. Let me tell you what's gross to me. What's gross to me is spraying all these fertilizers with stupid chemicals and pesticides. That's gross. All you soybean farmers using gramoxin, that's gross. This ain't gross. This is how it's supposed to be done. And I'm sorry if you city boys think this is gross. This is how you're supposed to live. It's been done for thousands of years. You wonder why we all got cancer these days? Because nobody wants to get out here and scoop up manure and use that as fertilizer. They want to turn to these chemicals that'll kill you. Like I said, this is how it's supposed to be done, and I'm having fun.
So there you go. So I had a guy tag me in it on Facebook, and yeah, I haven't even gone back and looked, but I wrote a pretty long thing on there, and I pretty much called him an idiot on Facebook, and I wrote even on his Instagram thing too, and yeah, he's an Arkansas guy. He's a dorky looking guy. He'd beat the shit out of me. I'll admit it. Like, it's not a fact of fight him, because he's 15-0 or something in the UFC.
Yeah. Although I bet you outweigh him by 100 pounds.
Yeah, he's a little guy. But I do, in that scenario, that's why I carry around the great equalizer with me.
Right.
So if I encounter an angry UFC fighter, I have hopefully a leg up on him. But anyways, the part that frustrates me, like you said, all right, what he said, yeah, it sounds great. Like, I would love here's a whole thing I think about. I would love to not use synthetic fertilizers or chemicals for two reasons. One, if they're dangerous, one thing I've always said, if the stuff is dangerous, who's the most involved with it?
Yeah.
The freaking farmers that are handling it. We're the ones handling the stuff. We're inhaling the fumes. We're like getting it splashed up on us and stuff. Like, even taking precautions, we're the ones around it. So, like, if we're endangering anybody, we're endangering ourselves.
Well, it's not like that we then don't go home and consume
the same things.
Yeah, all the same products that are derived from these crops.
Exactly. If I thought it was that evil, I probably wouldn't eat it myself. Yeah. And secondly, yeah, I would love to get away from it because it's expensive as hell. Like, it costs a ton. I mean, that's the video I put up on Instagram. People were blown away because with seed, chemical, fertilizer, equipment cost, rent, and all that, I was figuring up on corn, you had around $750 an acre. Now, that's everything. That's a lot of money per acre. Like, I was using let's just reference a 100-acre field. That's $75,000 worth of cost just in a 100-acre field. So if you eliminated fertilizer and chemical, hell, that's probably $300 eliminated right there, an acre. So, yeah, of course, it would be great. And I mean, it sounds awesome, but like, I had a guy on Facebook, because I shared it on Facebook. I was mad. I shared it around and was like commenting to him and stuff. And I had a dude on Facebook that was like, well, how is what he said ignorant? I've seen how these farmers what they use, and it ain't no good. And he said, we need to go back to the way they did it in 1922. And I said, in 1922, they were producing a third of the yield. And I said, and they also used farm practices that led to something you might have heard of called the Dust Bowl. Like, yeah, they weren't using chemical back then because they just disked everything to oblivion.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, man, it pissed me off. And it's just unrealistic.
Well, yeah, and I mean, the whole argument, yeah, they were feeding a fraction of the people we feed nowadays, and yeah, it's just that whole argument. And yeah, I'll admit, like, I would love for us to have enough natural fertilizer readily available to us to fertilize the ground and even get close to the yields we get. But
we talked to a guy that they do that with the hogs, and they still have to supplement with fertilizer.
Yeah, even in their area where they have hog barns, which he specifically has, and they used to fertilize some of their ground. They have chicken houses, they have dairies, and they have beef feedlots. We have none of that right here local to us.
Yeah.
But even in that area where they've got all that, in every one of those situations, those animals are producing manure that they collect and then fertilize with, and they still, like you said, have to buy commercial, synthetic fertilizers, because it doesn't meet all their
what the plant needs,
fertility needs for the plants. And so it's and it's it's funny, the whole, so do we need more animals to help save the planet, or is animal agriculture ruining the planet?
Yeah, because of their farts. Their farts are destroying the atmosphere.
We need cows to make more manure, but to not burp.
Yes.
Give us more manure to fertilize more ground, but do it without burping.
Yeah.
But
well, it's a talking point. Like, it's the same.
Well, and he's talking to a crowd. Like I say, he's a UFC guy. I mean, he's a country boy, and that's what kind of annoys me is, most of the time when he goes on one of these rants, it's on something that I'm going to agree with him on.
Yeah.
Like, he's politically probably leans the same way we do, but it's almost like we're getting friendly fire.
Yeah.
Like, damn, come on, man.
It is.
The people that piss me off just as bad, and you see it all the freaking time, because I'm a big deer hunter, and I follow a bunch of big deer hunting accounts and all whatever. Somebody kills my big old deer, and they're laying there, and they're doing all their Instagram posts or whatever about it, and talk about how their family will be eating, fresh organic meat, not anything they buy from the store. I'm like, dumbass. You're sitting there posing with a dead deer in the middle of a soybean field. You think that sucker wasn't eating those
GMO beans?
Those GMO soybeans? Like, no. Like, there isn't a deer killed anywhere around here that's organic.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're eating GMO soybeans and corn in every situation. Like, there's zero. And I'm just like, it's friendly fire. Like, come on. Like, why are you attacking animal agriculture? And like really, like, no, it's the vegans and the fake meat people that are on the other side. Like, quit hurling grenades at us.
Yeah.
But you'll see it even within agriculture, which I guess you'd even put Bryce in that category, because he obviously has a little farm there. But somebody actually, I was proud of them. I think it was on Twitter this week, but it was a big ag account. It's got a big following.
Yeah.
That pretty much said that one of the worst enemies we have within the beef industry is ourselves, because you'll have these people that are talking about, they're selling beef direct like I am.
Yeah.
And they'll badmouth the grocery store beef. They're like, are you kidding? Like, the vast majority of people can't buy meat like that.
Direct.
So do you want to really make them scared to buy grocery store beef? But you see some of these idiots do it all the time. It's like, no, the worst thing that can happen is when people that can't afford to buy, your beef directly off the farm, then go to the grocery store.
They're like, oh, this is
to buy
shitty,
beef. Like,
shitty meat. I can't buy this. Yeah.
It's not unique to him. He gets to be the dumbass of the day, but it really is all encompassing of a lot of other people. And yeah, I get so annoyed with it, like with these, whatever social media, Instagram influencers, and I'm like, you dumbass. And like, we're on the same side of this fight here.
Yeah.
We got people that don't want to think we should eat meat at all.
Yeah.
And that hate you because you hunt, and they hate me because I raise beef cattle. Like, no, quit. No, we don't need friendly fire.
Yeah, you're like terrible with animals, and I'm poisoning the earth. So that's where I think, like, for me, I completely agree, but a lot of it is like, honestly, I think at this point, like, I put up my reels on Instagram and I call them the angry farmer rant or rant of the day. I tend to lean towards the angry farmer stuff. I find myself more and more because I'm like so tired of us coming under fire.
Yeah.
It's like we're literally doing, and here where it makes me the most angry is because the people aren't being realistic. Like, that's what I've tried to say from day one with this stuff. Whenever I go after people that are bashing GMO or bashing the way we farm, bashing the seed, the chemical and the fertilizer, it's like, what's your realistic solution? Because they've, the projection of population by 2050, it means we've talked about this before. I think we have to have a 50 or 70% increase in yield by the year 2050 in order to keep feeding the population. I can tell you how we're not going to do that. That's not going to be with me going out in a wheelbarrow and scattering cow shit out.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's
that was all for show.
It was. And that's what's so annoying, because people in the comments eat it up.
Well, but right, I would dare say, like, his following is obviously primarily because he's a UFC fighter, not because he's a farmer.
Yeah,
And there was all kinds of things you could break down in the video of, like, I'm gonna call BS on him. Like,
his coveralls or his overalls are spotless. And I mean, me and you've both been around cattle. We've been around the farm. Dude, you don't stay clean on the farm. Like, I don't care what you're doing. Like, that's why I wear blue jeans in the dead of summer just about all the time. Pants, maybe not even just blue jeans, but I'm going to have pants on, and rarely do I wear shorts, because the time I wear them, like, and I'll have people, they'll be like, why don't you ever wear shorts? And it's like, because the day I wear shorts, a hydraulic hose will blow on the tractor, and I don't want to be crawling around in shorts. But so, yeah, his overalls were very clean. And there's a part of me that just wonders, like, all right, the guy, he's like this redneck UFC fighter. That's what he's known for. That's
the persona. He definitely wants.
So is he really, because did you look at the caption? You could barely read it. It was so damn bad. Like and
I followed him for a little while, and he has to do it on purpose. Like, like a lot of people type in slang. It's like he's typing in slang. He's not even trying to spell the words correctly. It's
got to be tiring to type his captions. Like, that's what I was reading it. But then I noticed he did a sponsored post for, like, one of the betting things, like the fight bets.
Yeah.
And his caption was pretty normal.
I bet whoever that is, they send him.
They might. I don't know, but that's what I was like, that's interesting.
He just posted on his social media, but he copy and paste.
Well, they may have, but I was kind of like, that's interesting. It's kind of got me wondering, like, you know, how much of this is an act and how much of this is legit?
I mean, I don't want to, because I don't know him, but I think.
Well, I'm coming after him. I'm challenging him to a fight.
It seems like an act. Like seeing him, he kind of is over the top with the whole, like, I'm a redneck, you know, whatever, that persona, which, I mean, I understand, like, in combat sports, whether you're boxing or MMA or whatever, like, you got to be a self-promoter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole thing about Conor McGregor, you know, he probably, for his weight class, wasn't that great, but he was a showman.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all about selling pay-per-view slots or whatever, getting sponsors. And so, having that larger-than-life personality and trying to be, you know, controversial. And I mean, it's something I think we both agree with. You know, it's better to be, in this day and age, because there's so much out there, if you're not trying to be kind of controversial and out there on the edge, you're probably not going to be very popular. And so, he says some stuff that probably a whole lot of people think is ridiculous, but it just, it sucks because it's a little bit of friendly fire. Is the term I know I keep using, but
well, and that's how I felt, because that's what I'm like, man, I've even rooted for this guy in quite a few fights, you know, pulled for him.
And like, I just want to say, no, that's not the way, like, that. We're not the enemy here.
Yeah.
Like as you know, farmers or ranchers, like, just because we don't have a tiny farm where we're supposedly doing all fertilizing our garden with nothing but manure or whatever. And heck, I put, because of course I do have chickens. I say we don't have chicken houses around here.
Yeah.
I've got my few little chickens.
There's 11 right here beside
my garden. Like, I don't, and I do put some synthetic fertilizer on my garden. I do, but
you bastard.
I put a lot of, I compost my you know, household waste, a lot of it.
Oh, do you have a little compost thing?
I really don't, but I just kind of half-ass it, I guess. But
yeah,
I throw my eggshells in.
I mean, you shit in the garden.
Well, yeah. I mean, where do you? We even took the toilets out of the house so the kids would have to go out there and do it.
That's the shirt. That's the shirt we need. We need the Talk Dirt to Me shirt is going to be I don't know. That's the shirt design. Somebody shitting in a garden.
But every now and then, like, one of my dogs will go over there nearby, and I'm like, yeah, you can go over there.
Go use the garden. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to eat a vegetable right beside the dog shit. But anyway, yeah. But no, I put chicken litter out of my little chicken house on the garden.
Do you use, like, with the wood chips? You just sprinkle it on there? Do you put the wood chips in your chicken house?
No, heck, it's mainly just pure chicken shit.
Oh, really?
Mine's just got, like, a wood floor, like, in their actual house.
Yeah.
And like, their little nest box, I put some hay in there, and so it ends up out. But it's, by the time I get around to actually cleaning it,
it's just straight up poop.
What I'm scattering is it's 90% pure chicken shit.
Nice.
But yeah, you know, and I absolutely see the value in that. And I think it is cool that I get but look, I'm not even feeding my family of 4 adequately out of my garden. Although I got some broccoli that's looking good right about now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, I always have better luck with those cool season.
Did you plant any carrots?
I just got broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and greens.
Do you know that later into the winter, I don't know about with broccoli or something, but I know with carrots that the sugar content gets higher in carrots as you get into winter?
I think I've seen where they've said, like, on your Brussels sprouts, and it may be true with the broccoli too, that you're picking it, like, right after you've had a freeze, like that next morning. And there's probably very detailed science into this, more so than I'm explaining, but the sugar content will be higher.
Yeah.
It's
some survival mechanism for them.
And so they say, it's actually because I don't know. I was reading about it. It's been 2 or 3 years ago, and said no, they're actually better after you had a couple of freezes. But yeah, winter garden's looking good.
Well, there you go. Well, that's how. I mean, that's like Dad. I mean, you know, he's tilled cow manure into this garden, and all that, and that's exactly what in the caption. What I could understand in his caption, he was talking about. This is why my okras look better than everybody else's.
Did he say 7 foot tall?
something. It was something stupid. And
God
so,
dang, if your okra's only 7 foot tall, because where I plant my garden at my house, I always complain about like compared to out here where your dad has his garden,
yeah,
which they fed cows right there, which is a testament to how rich that ground is. But even what I consider poor ass ground where I've got my garden, shit, the okra
10
gets so
foot
damn,
tall.
oh God, the okra, which okra likes that hot, dry weather.
Yeah. Well, maybe Bryce needs to learn how to grow a garden.
Yeah, he might be having a problem with his.
It sounds like he probably don't have his pH balance.
If his is only getting to 7 foot.
Yeah. Well, that's what he put in there. But that's what I got to thinking. I'm like, this man is going to come after us on like millions of acres of farm ground because of what he does on his like probably eighth of an acre garden.
Yeah, it's like a few hundred square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, here's where I think about with the manure thing. For starters, that wouldn't eliminate the need for chemical. Let's say we did use all manure. We eliminate the fertilizer. We still got to spray the shit. But
yeah, to do it on the scale that it is currently done on,
it's not plausible with what he's suggesting.
And we've said it 1,000 times. Like, we're open to trying to go back to smaller outfits. More farmers, but growing fewer acres each, and maybe being able to implement more practices like that.
That's the only way we change.
But even still, it's still not scalable.
No.
To the number of acres.
Unless we get to the point where, 70 to 80% of Americans are growing their own food, it's never going to change.
At least growing it to some extent. Like,
yeah.
Man, here where we live, we're fairly rural. Like, it's pretty common to have a garden. But I would still dare say that the vast majority of people, even in our county, don't have a garden. And we do have some like apartment style living around here, but most people live in a house that has a backyard, front yard, all the above, where they can plant a garden. They can grow at least some of their food. But, heck, I'm somebody who really tries to do it, and I would dare say 98% of the vegetables my family eats, even at home, we buy at the store. Because, I'm not that great as a gardener, and two, it's tough to just have something that's producing year round.
It is.
So even still, you're still going to have that. Even if you get people growing more of their own food, which I think the more you take baby steps first, but there's still going to be the need for the big ag.
Yeah.
At least for certainly the foreseeable future. And
that's why I always say yet. I always say we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what advancements we'll make or how things will play out. I mean, when the robots attack and kill 3/4 of the population, the demand will greatly have decreased. So, I mean, we can go back to farming that way. I mean, our tractors might be turned on us anyways at that point. So we might be shoveling shit at that point. So, maybe Bryce will be right then. And, I'll let him lead the charge against the cyborgs at that point when he's a fighter. So I'll let him go on and take the front. But, it's just, it's not realistic right now. And that's why it's so annoying, because it's like, you're not making a realistic offer of a solution here. And then it just kills me, because in the comments, everybody's like, right on, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's right. They're poisoning the world. And it's like, golly.
Well, and I mean, it goes back to something we've made this point 1,000 times, but okay. Yeah. Are you okay with a whole lot of people starving? Because we can overnight just say, no more. We're not going to do any more.
Yeah.
But obviously yields, overall production is going to plummet, and you're going to have a whole lot of people starve to death. And it's probably not the people that got the phone in their hand that are, posturing on social media. It's going to be the poorest people and the poorest parts of the world.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, kind of in a way, it's selfish for them to even act like that. But I think it was all kind of just, it's a ploy. He's got a persona to keep up. He's got content he feels like he's got to create every so often to keep his audience engaged. And he knew that 98% of his followers would would give
Yeah, man. Heck
hell
yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And
Yeah.
and not even think twice about it. But
Well, we're calling you out, Bryce.
that's right. Yeah, and it's not just Bryce. Again, it's anybody out there who's ever.
Kaya Jones, one of the Spice Girls or whatever, former Spice Girl.
Thing.
She's just as bad.
But even and maybe you haven't even posted, but if you've ever killed a deer and thought to yourself, "Oh, this is so much better for my family to be eating this thing than beef from grocery store," nah, you're still being an asshole. Yeah, like.
So say what? I guess maybe if you go to Alaska,
that deer ate pretty much the exact. Hell, he ate a lot of stuff that the cows can't even eat because he's eating those GMO soybeans for what, about 6-7 months out of the year.
Yeah, and he might slip in there after they've like just had some. They might have a fresh dose of Roundup on the top of them,
Right.
and he's slipping in there munching down.
Yeah, well, the cows, they're on. They're
Strict
eating nothing but
guidelines.
grass. They're not eating any corn or soybeans until they go just the last few months of their life. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
it may be less organic.
Honestly, you need to quit eating that wild game and go to eating nothing but beef.
If you had to pick purely off a taste, deer or beef,
Beef, and it's not even close.
that's how exactly me, man.
And I love deer meat. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a novelty to I don't know, nostalgia maybe. Probably novelty is a better word. Yeah, when you're cooking something you kill, like, that's cool.
Well, I mean, I shoot cows with bow and arrows all the time, and
Oh yeah, you do guided hunts out here, don't you?
that's right. Yeah, if anybody's interested, $12,000 a cow.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
Good deal. Shoot them with a bow.
Hey, I'll cut you a deal. $8,000.
We're getting into a bidding war here.
So competition's good for the market.
Just for anyone wondering, we have never shot a cow with a bow and arrow. Like
No.
somebody would tune in here. Now, I mean, there is a part of me that'd be like, what's the difference in what is the
you can
difference?
make that argument. Yeah.
Like, and there might, I mean, if somebody's listening and you truly want to hunt a cow, like, I mean, I would make that happen if you were interested.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee's tiptoeing on this one.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're going to die and get eaten one way or the other.
Like if they were going to buy it, they were like, all right, look, I want to buy one to get it processed. But they're like, but I want to do the processing myself. I'd like to even be a part of the kill. I'd be like, oh, well, I guess we could try that.
I would want to hear more details because, like, if they were going to do anything too
They want to
outrageous-
shoot it with a bow.
Yeah, we'd have to talk. Like, that's because you could make an argument. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
I've never had anyone ask me to bow hunt a cow.
That would be really weird. But I mean, hell, people are weird.
People are weird, man. There's market for everything, though.
Yeah, it would come to, like, somebody, because again, we sell it off the farm, but somebody's like, well, I want to come out and I'm like, yeah, they would definitely, because my initial answer would just be like, no,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm doing. I've got plenty of demand. Or if you're not cool with doing it the way we do it, I'll just move on.
So if they were like, I want to come out and I want to jump out of a tree with a knife and finish the cow off.
I mean, my answer would be no. Then if they start to say, well, I'm willing to pay X
$25,000.
Yes.
So there you go, guys.
I mean, I guess I'd have questions about, because that obviously does not sound very safe.
Yeah, you'd want to sign a waiver.
Yeah, like some kind of liability.
Yeah, you'd need like a
call my
release.
insurance guy.
Yeah. Like, I do have a guy coming. He's going to jump out of a tree with a knife to kill a cow.
Naked.
Yes, naked, of course. That's only just, I mean, I thought that was a given.
Yeah, if you're jumping out of a tree, yeah.
Yeah, that is a given.
Wow. This has gone way off the
we
rails.
we took a severe turn there. But so Bryce Mitchell, I'm not rooting for you anymore in any of your fights. Hope you lose all of them. But
which the crazy thing is, whoever he's fighting is probably going to be some woke ass. Well, not UFC.
I don't know. UFC's not too bad.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But it'll be like some Russian guy. I'll be like, I can't root for this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. But now I'm like, well, who's more American?
Well, you're right. That's where I keep saying the friendly fire. Like,
That's what I was actually. I don't remember if I said. Did I say the statistic of how many crops are GMO in the United States?
you
No.
didn't? No.
All right. So, because I was like, let's see.
Based on just total acreage.
Total acres, the percentage of cropland of crops grown in the U.S., like your corn, cotton, beans, all that. What percentage do you think is GMO?
95.
It's over 90. So yeah. It's in that area. It's over 90% is GMO crops, meaning that you're using, seed and or chemical fertilizer and so forth. So that's what, when a guy like Bryce makes a comment like that, or a girl like Kaya says some stuff like that, you're attacking 90% of the American farmers.
Right. And it's not, and you could say, well, why don't we could change that to 0%, and go all to conventional. But I don't know. Yeah. And like, of course, Bryce doesn't throw out like exact, like, we should be all organic, or we should just be non-GMO, or whatever. But say we put all those acres just back into conventional crops. Yeah. What's the yield then going to be?
Well, and see, even conventional uses chemical and fertilizer.
Right.
But like I guess if we went organic, I guess these people would want us to go non-GMO, all organic. Like, I'm assuming is what they would want. They would want no chemical, no fertilizer. I mean, dude, you're talking like corn. I bet you would go, you're going from probably.
Because like here, we literally would have no fertilizer to put on it. Like it would just be zero fertilizer, because we don't have the animal agriculture to even get your hands on it, the manure to spread.
There are some people around here. There's some farmers that, like, they're the ones, if you pick up a farm and they've been working it, it's like, good luck for the first few years, because this guy never fertilized. And, he was growing 25 bushel beans every year. So, that's a 30 bushel difference. Like a lot of us this year, we're cutting, you might cut 55 bushel acre. You might cut 65. I mean, Dad cut some 70s. I cut one farm that was in the high 60s. So, I mean, you're talking the difference of, 50s to 70s versus 20s. Like, that's a substantial drop in yield. And, I mean, man, it's just, we ain't there yet. And that, I guess the takeaway for people listening, when you see some people say that, push back against them, because that's what it's frustrating to me, because it's like, these are the guys we're up against. Like, most farmers, and this is why it's cool, I like what we're doing, especially because it's growing, and I really hope people will share this episode, because I feel like people need to hear this stuff, because farmers, we're kind of up against a wall here. Like, we don't have Millennial Farmer obviously has a huge following, but the people that tune in to Millennial Farmer probably don't feel like we're poisoning the world. They're fans of farmers or supporters of farmers. So, I mean, when you have people like Bryce Mitchell and Kaya Jones and, like, I don't know, probably freaking like Leonardo DiCaprio or somebody saying shit about farmers, we've got a pretty good challenge ahead of us to try to, like, push back against this. And so that's why we need people to help us out here. Like, if you see a guy like Bryce put up something like that, be like, dude, that's not realistic. Like, even just something like, be like, this is not a realistic solution you're saying.
Well, and again, I know I keep harping on the thing that annoys me is, like, we should be on the same side. Like, I expect some of the idiot celebrities, like, I would have not even blinked had I seen, somebody like DiCaprio or Joe Quinn Phoenix.
Oh yeah, yeah, man, he's a weirdo. So
yeah, somebody like that.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Joe Quinn.
I was at first when you first said, I was like, Joe Quinn Phoenix, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Joe Quinn Phoenix.
Yeah, he was. He was a rapper for a little while. He left Hollywood and became a rapper. Did you know that? I'm not even making that up.
It's like weirder than Garth Brooks pretending to be
Chris
Gaines.
Chris Gaines, yes.
Like,
Yeah. I don't know that I ever heard any of his rap, but he left.
He went on the stage at whatever show and was like pleading against like dairy. Like
That's right.
Raping animals.
Yes.
I like went to the refrigerator and poured the biggest glass of milk I could possibly find and just chugged it.
Have you ever listened to Discover Ag, the podcast?
No.
So I actually was going to send their page to you today, and I was going to say we need to try to collaborate with them. It's another podcast, and it's actually two women, Tara Vanderdusen or something, Vanderson, Tara Vanderson.
I follow her.
Yeah,
I didn't realize they were doing a podcast.
Yeah,
it was good.
It was Elevate Ag, and now it's called Discover Ag, I think. Oh, she crushes it, and I was listening.
She's really sharp.
Yeah. Oh, I was listening to an episode today. And they were talking about the Mexican president, about the GMO thing. And I'm like, well, we were 1 week ahead of you. We beat you to the punch. But also she talked about how dairy has done so well in kind of getting its name back out there. And they said beef needs to catch up. They were like, why is beef not following suit of dairy? Because they've even got celebrities on board with the milk thing again. You know, milk took a weird back seat, and people were like almond milk and all that stuff, the stuff that don't have tits. And so then now milk is making a comeback, and they're getting celebrities back on board. And that's what Tara was like, why do they not, like, beef needs to take a page out of the handbook.
I've got a big theory as to one of the reasons why beef hasn't done as good a job of outreach, but...
Well, that might be an episode for next time.
Yeah, I was about to say, I could rant on that for a while.
Well, there you go. That may be next week's episode. Let me write a note here because we're at an hour mark. Well, you write it down.
I will.
We'll go into that. That turned into a good episode.
I did, yeah.
Bryce Mitchell sucks. I hope you lose. I hope your undefeated streak ends. If it don't end with them, you just come and see me, and I'll put an end to it.
Wow, I think that's a challenge.
We'll see. We'll see about how your shit shoveling pays off. No, I mean, I'm, like I said, he would beat me in a fight. I'm very certain of it. The dude's trained forever, but he don't know shit about shit apparently.
No, not literally.
Yeah,
and figuratively.
So, let's see. All right, I got a company. I'll promote this one here.
Let me start off with 2 words: made in America.
All right, our segment here. So this is a company, Palmetto State Armory. You ever ordered from them?
I have not, but I'm familiar with them.
Man, they got like freaking everything. And I had my gun out here last night. I should have brought it out here and showed you. I got my Streebog in. Have you ever seen that?
I hadn't.
It's a PCC. It's a pistol caliber carbine.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had been wanting one of those. It's a little, it ought to be a submachine gun. And if we lived in like a truly free country, it would be a submachine gun. But it's a semi-automatic, but it's a little short pistol. It's got a collapsible stock, like the stock folds. It's not a stock. The pistol brace folds over. Yeah. And I ordered it from Palmetto State Armory. They run some awesome deals with like Magpul. They'll do a thing where it's 10. You can get like 10 mags and 100 rounds of ammo. And I mean, you can never have too many mags. And they're Magpul, which is also Magpul is made in America. Yeah. I got a ton of Magpul stuff. So kind of a double segment, I guess. Magpul and Palmetto State Armory. Palmetto State Armory is owned by Americans, and I know them. Actually, hoping to have them on next month on Living Fully Loaded. So
yeah, but they are there firearms manufactured in the U.S.?
I don't know. I'm not real sure, to be honest. The Streebog is not a PSA rifle or pistol. It's made in Slovakia. Like it's
not their own, but they are a firearm manufacturer.
Yeah, they have the Dagger, which it looks just like a Glock, and I've been meaning to get one. I want to test it out. It's a pistol, and it may be made in America, but I'm not positive. I know I think they even have ARs. Well, no, I know they do. I got an AR pistol of theirs.
Yeah,
and it's my truck gun. That's the one that I have with me with their mags. I'm revealing a lot about my EDC here. But so people learning or listening here, if you learned anything, it's that you don't want to roll up hot on a farmer because, I do have an AR pistol with about 90 rounds on me at most times. So, and it is a Palmetto State Armory. I've put about 1,000 rounds through it, and I've never had a jam. So it's a solid gun, and they're really budget friendly. Like that's why I got into them, because they make really good gear. But it's not like Daniel Defense, which is good stuff, but you're not paying for that like Harley Davidson name.
Yeah.
So check out Palmetto State Armory.
Sounds good.
Well, there you go, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below. Let us know that you think Bryce Mitchell's an idiot and you hope he loses. And any questions you have, shoot them to us on talkdirtpodcast.com. You can DM either one of us on Instagram. All the information's in the description. Leave us a rating and a review. Harass Bobby Lee and I both until we get shirts and hats. We're like, we got to do that. We've been talking about that for like 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. We have.
So harass us. We'll get some swag. But, that's about all I got.
Yeah, me too.
Catch y'all next week.